Good evening, fifth graders. Tonight we're going to be working on Unit 7 review. What I asked you to do right now is find some notebook paper, find some scratch paper. Please just pause and do that. And as we're going through these problems here tonight, I want you to solve them with me, okay? So if you have any confusion of any of these, you're going to be seeing the review packet in class tomorrow. And that way I know exactly what to help you with. You know exactly what to ask me, okay? So please use that. Let's take a look at this first set. Going with greater than, less than, or equal to. Number 1, -6, is it greater than or less than 5? 5 is greater, so we're going to be eating the 5. Take a look at number 2. We have -15 and -12, okay? Think about a number line. Think about money. -15, that means you owe 15 more dollars, which means it is less than -12. -12 is bigger. So I have 30 and -43. A positive 30 is obviously bigger than a -43. -4/5 and a -1. We're trying to get tricky here. Keep this in mind. It's just kind of like the one before. 4/5 is smaller than 1, right? Which means it's closer to 0. Which means -1 is actually smaller. And -4/5 is bigger. Look at the next one. 7 to the second power. It does not equal 14, kids. It equals 49. 5 to the third power. What does this equal? Well, we know 5 times 5 is 25. Times another 5 is 125. So we know that one is bigger. Take a look over here. -6 plus -6 gives me a -12. -12 and -12, they're equal to each other. All right, so this next set of data. Some of these expressions are not number sentences. Cross them out. Then circle the number sentences that are true. You will see a problem exactly like this on your assessment in a couple days here, so please watch carefully. First of all, in order for it to be a number sentence, it must have one of each one of these, greater than, less than, or equal symbol. So let's take a look here. So we're going to cross off any one that does not have that. Looks like the 39 doesn't have it, and it looks like 6 times 9 to the third power doesn't have it. So we have those crossed off. Now let's look at the other problems. Which ones are true? We're going to circle the number sentences that are true. Let's see this first one. We have 7 times 10 to the second power, which would be 7 times 100. Is that correct? 700 is correct. Let's take a look over here. 2/3 plus 2/3 would give me 4/3, right, kids? Which is greater than 1, which would be 1 1/3. So that is correct. Look down a little lower here. -22 minus a -5. Let's take a look here. So we're going to go leave, add, change, which means I'd have a -22 plus a 5, which would not be -27, which would be a -17. So that is not true. So we're going to leave that one blank. The false ones we're going to leave blank. Over here is 3 less than. So let's take a look here. We have 25 plus a -20, which would give me a +5. Is 5 greater than 3? It is. So we're going to circle that one. So keep that in mind, kids. Each one of these is going to be worth a point on your assessment. So keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look at these next set of problems. Some expression problems here. Mary ate 6 cookies before going to a party. At the party, Mary and 4 cookies ate equal shares of 30 cookies. Mary ate a bunch of cookies, I see. The next one says there was a full bag with 30 cookies and an unopened bag with 6 cookies. Mary and her 4 friends ate equal shares of all these cookies. All right, so let's take a look at A. Mary ate 6 cookies before going to a party. At the party, Mary and 4 friends ate equal shares of 30 cookies. So it looks like Mary and the 4 friends split the 30 cookies. Mary ate 6 cookies before she went. Mary must have been pretty hungry. So that's going to go to this problem. Do you see how you have 6 before the party? And once you get to the party, you're going to have 30, and then Mary has to split it with her friends. So that's why you're going to divide by 5. Let's see if the other one makes sense, though. There's a full bag of 30 cookies. There's an unopened bag of 6 cookies. So that looks like 36 cookies right there, right? Mary and her 4 friends ate equal shares. So after you add all 36 cookies together, you're going to divide by 5, which would be this one right here. Do you see how we just to make sense of the problem before you draw on these lines to connect them? Let's take a look down here. John baked 8 trays of cookies. He started with 1 dozen on each tray. So a dozen would be 12. Keep that in mind. Then he took half from each tray to put them in the freezer. So he looks like he's multiplying 8 by 12, right? But then he took half of them and put them in the freezer. So how many did he put? How many did he put in the freezer? He's going to have to put 8 times. The reason why you're doing this, kids, is take a look. If you put half in the freezer, that means 6 in each tray went in the freezer. So that's why you're going 8 times 6. Right here, if you do 8 plus 6, you're not counting all 8 trays. Okay? Hopefully that helped a little bit. Insert parentheses when necessary to make the number sentences true. So this first number right here, put parentheses around. 3 times 2 is 6. And then we have to subtract the 6 from 4 to get 2. Then we're going to have 2 divided by 1, which equals 2. Let's take a look over here. I'm going to move to the right now. Go ahead and press pause, because it's going to be 7 equals 4 times 3 divided by 2 plus 1. Okay. I'm looking at this one. I wouldn't even have to insert parentheses because of the order of operations. But just to keep things simple, it's not going to hurt putting parentheses in. We're going to go 4 times 3, which would be 12. So we're going to do 12 divided by 2, which is 6 plus 1. You say we have 12. We're going to divide it by 2, which would give me 6. Then I'm going to add this 1, which would give me 7. Bottom left here, negative 7 plus 42 divided by 5 equals 7. I'm going to put parentheses around the negative 7 plus 42. If I take a negative 7 away from a 42, that gives me 35. And if I divide by 5, I will get 7 for an answer. This next problem right here, there's a typo. It should be written like this. 10 plus 5 divided by 10 equals 10 and a half. This makes a little more sense. So you're going to put 5/10 in parentheses. So then you'll get 10 plus half equals 10 and a half. Let's take a look down here. Negative 25 plus a negative 16. We have a negative plus a negative. My answer is going to be negative. Then I'm just going to have to add 25 plus 16. Gives me 4. Negative 41. So look at this next one. 22. We're subtracting, so I'm going to go leave, add, change. I'm adding a positive plus a positive. 22 plus a 15, right, kids? Gives me a 7 and a 3. Gives me 37. Next problem down here, I have 3 minus what gives me a 14. So you're going to see a problem like this tomorrow. And this is a little more challenging, but it's not too difficult. Just keep in mind, I have a small number. I need to get a big positive number. I'm subtracting. So that means I have to have a negative number because I know my 2 negatives will cancel out to equal a positive because we need to add to 14. We just put a negative 11 here. Won't that work, kids? Leave, add, change. Change my 2 negatives to a positive, which equals 14. Over here, I have a negative 8 plus a 9. That's a pretty easy one. My answer is a positive 1. 15 minus 25. I'm going to leave. Add, I'm going to change. My answer is going to be a negative. It's going to be a negative 10. Down here, I'm going to leave the negative 4. Add, change. I have a positive 7, a negative 4. My answer is going to be a positive 3. So down here, Tasha's playing a game. She has 10 points in the hole. She has negative 10 points. So we're starting off with negative 10. She gets 15 points for our next turn. What is her new score? So we're going to add 15 points. What's her new score? Her new score would be a positive 5. If she loses 9 points instead, what would her score be? So let's say she has a negative 10 minus 9. I'm going to change colors here for my leave, add, change. I'm going to leave, add, change. Negative 10 plus a negative 9 gives me a negative 19. Draw a picture that shows an account balance with a balance of negative 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Draw a picture that shows a balance of $7 using exactly 9 counters. So I have exactly $7. I know I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know I need at least 7 positives, right? But I could only have 2 more. So remember how we've been doing this in the past? If I have a plus, I have a minus. They're going to cancel each other off. Do I have exactly 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I do. What is your balance if you have the same number of positives and negatives? That's pretty easy. If I have a positive, and if I have a negative, it's going to be 0. All right, these problems down here are fun with the jar. There are 13 positives and 5 negatives in the container. What is the balance? Well, I have 13 positives, I have 5 negatives. I'm taking 5 away from 13, right? So I'm left with 8 positives. How many negative counters do you need to add to get a negative balance? Well, we're going to have to to get a negative balance. If I add 8 negatives, that'd give me a 0 balance. So I'm going to have to add 9 negatives. Wouldn't I, kids? Because if I get 8, it's going to be the negative 8 is going to cross off the positive 8. So I'm going to have to add negative 9. What will the new balance be if you remove 8 negative counters from the original balance? So if I remove 8 from a positive 8, my answer is going to be 0. What will be the new balance if you remove 11 negative counters from the original balance? So what remove means to subtract. So I have a positive 8 minus a negative 11. I'm going to leave, add, change. Make leave. So I'm going to leave, add, change. I'm adding 8 plus 11, which is going to give me a positive 19. I'm going to add, so I'm going to start with an 8. I'm going to add negative 6 counters, which give me a balance of 2. Take a look at these next problems here. Write each number in standard notation and in number word notation. So this first one, we have 10 to the 4th power. So I had a 1. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is 10,000. Next one, 10 to the 8th power. 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put my commas in. I'm going to have 100 million. Next one, 6 to the 3rd power. 6,000. This is number word notation. Last one. This one's a little tricky because we have a decimal here, right? We're going to go 4.2. Then watch. I'm going to move the decimal 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which means this 2 counts as one of those zeros. 1, 3, 4, 5. You see how that worked, kids? So I have 5 zeros instead of 6 zeros. I'm going to put my commas in here. So my answer is 4 million. 200,000. All right, let's keep on scrolling here. Use a graph to answer the questions. How much did the temperature rise from Sunday to Tuesday? So we're on Sunday right here. Boom. Tuesday right here. We're starting at 20, we're ending at a 40. It rose 20 degrees. What was the temperature range for this week? So range is my smallest number, which is a 10. My biggest number, which was a 40. I'll subtract these. 30 is my range. Let's keep on cruising here. All right. I'm going to make a graph here. Okay, so we have title of the graph. We have a math scores. My bottom is going to be the study links. My y-axis is going to be answers correct. When I'm labeling this, I'm going to put a 0 here. I'm going to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to put the study links here. I'm just going to put this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Study link 1, a 5. Study link 2, scored a 20. Study link 3, scored a 15. Study link 4, scored a 10. Study link 5, we scored a 20. I want you to connect those. Boom. That's how you make a graph. All right. Hopefully this helped. I want you to write down questions. I want you to bring in your notes from this video. Sorry I got a little bit longer, but you know that reviews get a little longer. Bring it in. Ask me questions if you need it. And we're going to be ready to go take this assessment in a few days. Good luck, kids. See you tomorrow.